Some of those in the silver-haired community would say it's a great day for golf, and it is, don't get me wrong, but we say it's a great day for football, and the roof is wide open here in Glendale at State Farm Stadium. Today, we've got a good Week 5 matchup in store here between the Cleveland Browns and the Arizona Cardinals. The first quarter of the season already in the rear-view mirror, and off we go in Week 5 on EA Sports. Oh, my goodness, I thought he'd peel off. Instead, he makes the fair catch at the 2-yard line. First carry for James Conner, and he will double the space they have to work with as they take it from the 2 to the 4.
Well, not a game that you're going to go crazy about, but when you start at your own 2-yard line, any type of space is good for the offensive guys.
Yeah, you just can't go backwards from here. They did it. Now we'll see if they can keep it on schedule here on second down. Here's Murray back near his goal line. And that'll be incomplete.
I think he could have scanned downfield forever, but there wasn't anything available. Ends up throwing an incompletion, and I think he'll take that.
An early tough test on the opening drive. This is 3rd and 8. Murray going to throw. This will be caught by Brown. So nothing doing there, and that's going to make it 4th down.
I think that call was made not so much to try and get the first down, although they would have taken it if they could have gotten it, but to give their punter a little bit of space and try and help out their defense.
Yeah, they got the safe completion on 3rd. Returnable for Grant. And he'll be out of bounds, but able to get it up past the 45. A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. And the Browns will take over 1st and 10. Watson and the Browns now with a 1st and 10. On their side of midfield at the 47. Out of the gun, Watson. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
The offense schemed going 5 wide, trying to create a chance for the big shot, and they took it. If he comes down with that one, that's a huge offensive swing. But credit the defense with a nice play, knocking that one away.
There's a ball thrown right side and complete. And he takes this just a few yards shy of the red zone before going out. A gain there of 30 big ones. So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. And some determined running there as he'll pick his way down to the 12-yard line. Add the gain here to the previous play, and it's better than 40 yards total.
How best to describe that one? I'd say right down Broadway on that run.
A straight-ahead running. I think that might be something we see a lot of between the tackles today.
Well, he's enjoying things so far here this afternoon. Sees a crease and bursts through it for a solid gain.
And he'll be dropped at about the 11 after only a yard. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
2nd down, here's Chubb again. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. Call it a gain of 5 that time, and they'll be left with a 3rd and about 4.
Not a ton of room available on that one, but he made use of what space was available and gained decent yardage.
Now Watson. Njoku pulls this one in. He's got it for a Cleveland touchdown. A great effort there. His 4th touchdown on the year. And the Browns are on the board first here this afternoon. Point after, right down the middle. And that makes the score 7-0. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away. This will be fielded inside the 5. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. And the last drive, the first drive for them, not very good. 3 and out. What do they go to here?
Well, you don't look down at your play sheet and say, this is what the problem is. Now, let's find out who my playmakers are. Get the ball in their hands, and maybe the offense will move a little bit better.
Sometimes it's more important to get it to the right people rather than dialing up the right number.
Exactly.
Or the right play, yeah.
That too.
On 2nd and 10. Murray. And this one taken in on the right sideline, but not in the field of play. They say it's incomplete. The throw led him a little too far. It brings up 3rd down. And this passing game, this whole offense really didn't show up in the loss last week, and it hasn't started all that great here either.
Yeah, and they can't let that incompletion become an uh-oh moment. Like, oh boy, here we go again, just like last week. Each game is its own entity, treated as such.
They'll send Brown in motion right. From the gun on 3rd down, Murray. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down. On 4th down, J.K. Scott ready to punt it away. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Here comes Grant on the return. A nice run back there off the good punt. It's a 16-yard return. And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. The Browns drive about to get started. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. I mean, look, they're on the road. So getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. It'd be ideal.
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
2nd down, here's Chubb again. And he'll make it only to the 43, a gain of 2. When we talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot, he had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you and get your eyes in the wrong place. But you're right about that one. He correctly figured that one out and made a really nice play.
And he's going to run into a brick wall right in the middle of the field, and I don't think he got there. On 4th down on is Corey Bojorquez to punt. And he was called on 3 times in the win last week as his first one here's away. A 40-yard punt, 1 yard on the return. And the Cards are going to have the football with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. Still in the first half, but this offense has struggled. Haven't really been able to get anything going, not only in the points category, but in the yards category. Let's see if they can do better here on this drive. It'll be a gain of 5. And it's second down.
It's pretty easy to overlook the fullback when you're making your assignments defensively in the pass coverage game, but in this case, they made him pay for that oversight and picks up a nice gain.
Working with 2nd and 5 now. Murray a give. This is Connor. And he stopped immediately there. They'll say no gain on the play there, and now it'll be 3rd down. Well, this defense for the Browns, they were terrific last week in the win over Denver.
And that's not the half of it. They forced 7 turnovers in that game, and I know we always talk about turnovers coming in bunches once you force the first one, but 7? That seems almost impossible, but we watched it happen.
Finds his running back, James Conner. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. Last play, they got stuffed at the line. Different story here, over 20 yards.
If your sympathies lie with the defense, you understand how tough it is for linebackers to run with a guy like this. He's going to slip out of the backfield and then work in the middle of the field. And sometimes those defenders get preoccupied with other people moving, and he finds open space.
Trying to force it to Hopkins, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Martin Emerson. And he takes this one back into the end zone, and the Browns defense has a touchdown. And Charles, it's now a 2-touchdown lead in the opening quarter. Following that pick six, they are off to a fast start in this one.
And absolutely ecstatic on the sideline after that play, aren't they? Not just because they've got the lead, but how about seeing one of their guys get a chance to take it in for 6? Already up a pair of touchdowns. They've got everything going their way early on.
Take it in at the 3. And he'll be brought down right on the chalk of the 20. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. They find themselves in a good-sized hole here, and a good-sized hole early on in this game as they come up on 1st down. And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on 1st quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. If they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Murray to Moore for the Cardinal first. 14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Now Murray, he bootlegs it. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. It looks like a 12-yard loss there on the 1st down sack.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes. And just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping a tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, the quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
So the completion results there in 9 yards, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 12.
Fired that one in there, able to make connection on a nice in route.
With those faster passes when they're going that fast, any hesitation as a quarterback that the deflection, if you miss, might be bigger and lead to an interception?
Yeah, and the deflection works both ways. Maybe a defender gets a hand in the way and it pops in the air, and sometimes you throw it so hard your receiver can't handle it, and he pops it up in the air for the defenders to grab as well.
But a moot point there as they were able to connect. Now on 3rd down, that pass knocked down in the backfield and incomplete.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
Here's J.K. Scott set to do the punting honors. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. This is taken at the 18. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And all the way in. Touchdown, Cleveland. Boy, he covered a lot of ground. 82 yards on the punt return. And the Browns are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. Now the try here for the extra point. And it is now 21-0. So after the punt return touchdown, let's see what their opponents can do with this kickoff. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. And we don't want to call this desperation time, especially in the second quarter, but you're down.
Want to.
No, but let me finish.
Okay, my bad.
You're down 3 scores already. You've done nothing offensively, nothing on the scoreboard. That's not a good combination.
I think you just called it desperation time. I think you did. But let's face it, you mentioned this to me in a break earlier in the game. The energy level hasn't been there right from the start. We've noticed that. They've got to find a way to get on their toes and start punching instead of retreating, to use a boxing analogy.
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. On play action, it's Murray. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Dropped for a loss of 7 by multiple defenders.
And they're picking up right where they left off with the shutout that they pitched last week. A huge part of that, this pass rush. They know how to get after people.
Offensively, good luck finding some answers right now. Now that last sack puts Murray and the Cards in a tough spot, 3rd and long. They'll send Brown in motion right. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. That's going to be caught along the sideline, and what a job of keeping his feet in bounds. They say that's a catch. A big play there as they get the conversion on 3rd and 13.
And I don't think there's any question that this offense is going to need to hit on a few more plays like this. It's been a difficult first half for them, to say the least. And I do believe if they want to get back in this game, they need to start right now. It's kind of like making adjustments. If you try and wait until the half, it's probably too late. They need to get going right here.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Out of the shotgun, they'll run with Connor. And he's got some space here. And some solid footwork there as he'll take this down to about the 38. 12 more yards there and another 1st down. Good push up front and that run in between the tackles.
Let's play the leverage game here. Offensive line just got lower than the defensive front, and they were able to get their pads on them and move them backwards and create space for their running back to roam.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. They'll fake it to Connor. Now Murray. And this will be swung out here for Connor. And he gets it down a yard or 2 shy of the 30 before he's out of bounds.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
Looking to throw again on 2nd down. Murray, rush coming, and he's taken down. Loss of 10 as multiple defenders get to him. But he continues, Charles, to be under constant pressure, and these sacks, they're starting to pile up.
And if they want to have a realistic chance in this one, They've got to change their blocking assignments. They've got to do a better job to keep him upright. If he's going to be on the deck constantly, they've got no chance to win this game.
Well, that last sack puts Murray and the Cards in a tough spot, 3rd and long. They'll set up a throw. Under pressure again, and down he goes again.
Multiple defenders getting to him there for a huge loss.
That's number 4. Sack number 4. They had 4 last week, so he's been down on the ground a lot.
Partner, they say the eye in the sky does not lie. And that's indeed the case because they watched the game tape from the previous week, incorporated it into their own defensive scheme, and continued to get after this quarterback.
And now this defense will be searching for sack number 5.
On is the punter Scott here as he gets this one away.
And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. The Browns drive about to get started.
And Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there. It was a quick 3 and out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Give them 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give them a first down.
That was good, tough running right up the middle, and if the defense can't penetrate and make him slow his pace or change direction, that's often the end result.
Back to the ground. This time it's Chubb. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. On 2nd and 12, Watson. Oh, it's a screen pass. That's complete. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. It'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. The Cardinals going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Now that screen there on 2nd down certainly didn't develop how they had hoped. Is that one they should have even tried, or is that one the quarterback sticks in his pocket?
I think the latter. I like what you said there because trying is one thing. We can second guess just about every call. But in this case, when you realize that it's broken down, just throw it at the feet of your intended receiver so that no one can pick it off.
And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field.
And he's going to be brought down at about the 16. Well, fair to say that when you're looking at guys that can run like the wind, you often find him at the wide receiver position. And that was special there.
And that's the kind of play where you have to kind of catch your breath afterwards. So just give me a second here because when he shifted into high gear, he was an absolute blur out there. No substitute for speed. We talk about that all the time. The evidence was right there.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. Draw play to Ford. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards. And it'll be 2nd and very short.
Now that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've kind of hit the jackpot there.
So not quite a first and goal just yet as they come up now 2nd and inches. Faking the give. Now Watson. And down he goes. Pressure gets him back at the 14.
Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
So we reach halftime in what's been a fairly one-sided game so far. As we send you on out to our studios in Orlando, here's Jonathan Coachman at REA Sports Halftime Report. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin, set and ready to rock for the third quarter. The Browns are going to get the second half kickoff, and they've got this lead as well as we are back and underway.
Fielded just outside the goal line.
And he's going to get this across the 20 as he's out of bounds at the 23. The Browns drive about to get started. The third quarter starts with a run by Chubb. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. That play going for 16 yards to start the drive, first down. They've got the lead early here in the third quarter, and runs like that are how they establish that lead in the first half.
I love the fact that you're using the word lead because they are leading from the front, pounding on the defense right now with the running game, and truly establishing themselves here in the second half.
41 yards now on the ground on just 7 carries.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
On first down, Chubb going to get forward for only about a couple. 2nd and 8 forthcoming.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about where they take a good first step or not. Many times you just don't take any step. Just get your feet moving, get your body going, and then once he made the read, he was able to make the play.
Whatever the discussions were at halftime to try to slow down this offense, it has not worked to this point.
Yeah, I have a vision right now of everything that was discussed at the half just being torn in shreds or being erased off of the Microsoft Surface tablets because none of it is working. They are really locked in on offense.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they did. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40.
Multiple players getting home there for an 8-yard loss.
And the passing game's been struggling a bit today, and that was the latest example. Haven't been getting much yardage out of it, and now on his back after the last play, he faces 3rd and long.
Following that sack, Watson and the Browns backed up for a 3rd and long.
Back to throw.
That's into the hands of Donovan Peoples-Jones. And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line.
So now the Browns will turn it over to their field goal unit here. This will be kicked from the 42. It's a 52-yard attempt. That's leaking to the right, and he missed it by a foot or two. It's no good.
Always disappointing when you miss a field goal, but when you're playing against a defense this good, you and I both know that's a crucial miss because you can't afford to leave any points out there. You've got to take them when you can.
Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. Murray now on first down. Firing quickly, but it's incomplete.
And there's another stop. One of the league's best defenses is certainly bringing it again this week.
Hollywood Brown, the intended receiver. And that'll bring up 2nd down. To throw, it's Murray. Looking left sideline, incomplete.
Well, partner, they've certainly played up to their top 10 defensive ranking this week. They've stifled this opposing offense throughout this game. This contest is now lopsided because of their efforts, and there's still a quarter to go.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Throwing now is Murray. And he's taken down. This will be a Brown sack. He could not get away that time, and it'll be a loss of 11 on third down. Here's J.K. Scott now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. This is taken at the 18. A nice return that time of about 14 yards. And they will take over 1st and 10. The Browns drive about to get started. And the way their last drive ended, boy, it was frustrating. They had a pretty good drive going. It was sustained, and then it stalled out, Charles, and they missed the field goal and got nothing out of it.
Is that insult to injury? Because they had such a sustained drive, as you noted. So you know for the head coach, it almost felt like a little bit of failure to send out the field goal unit and then to not even see the ball go through the post. What a bummer on that last drive for them. Got to pick themselves up from that one.
From the 35 on second down. Watson, throw left side, caught by the tight end Njoku. A 1-yard gain there following the 3-yard pickup on first down. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Watson. Into a double team, and it's intercepted.
Isaiah Simmons picking it off. Well, still down quite a bit here, several scores, but yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And look, we're still in the third quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to their offense. And what you wonder about is the team that just threw that interception, they've got to be careful about developing a sense of complacency and thinking this game is over.
A quick throw here out to Brown. And he'll be out of bounds. 23 yards on the play.
How about the way they're moving the ball down the field? They had a big play a moment ago. Followed it up with another nice one here. And before you know it, they're already looking at 1st and goal.
Here's Murray. And he just throws this one away. Smart decision here this close to the end zone, and it brings up 2nd down.
His impatience has to be bubbling over, trying to find a way to get his team to the end zone for the first time. He did find a way to break contain and get outside to buy his receivers a little extra time, but the connection couldn't be made on that throw.
Extra bulk up front for 2nd and inches. 3 tight ends. Murray keeps it himself, and he'll get in. He's over for the touchdown. The sneak successful from a yard out, and the Cardinals take the forced turnover on defense and convert it into 6 points. That's the score you felt they had to have here in the third quarter to get back in this game.
And you know that there was an emphasis on their side. Hey, we know this. We know where we are. But sometimes that binds you up so much that you try too hard, you don't get the score. A perfect combination of urgency, yet relaxed enough to get it done.
Piñeiro's extra point up and good. And they'll cut the lead to 21-7. Now after the touchdown, here's Piñeiro to kick it off.
This one fielded at the 5. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped at the 23-yard line.
The Browns drive about to get started.
Their lead down to 2 scores after the touchdown a moment ago as they start with a 1st and 10.
And he'll wind up losing yardage here back at the 21-yard line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
I'm getting a sense that the momentum of this game is changing since the break. Nice play there, and this D is fired up.
All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. And the Cards are going to take possession of the football. So a potential momentum shifter there, working with a 2-score lead, 3rd quarter, but that, not the smartest of throws.
I agree with you on that one because this game is still very much in the balance. It felt pretty one-sided to this point, but now, if these guys can turn this turnover into points, things could start getting a little more interesting.
He's going to get 4 out of this as he's down to the 10-yard line.
But they certainly got dented with that first down run. So now they've got to be back on their heels a little bit as a defense.
Second and 6 from the 10.
Here's Murray as he sets to throw it. He'll get that one complete to Connor. And down inside the 10 here before he's out of bounds right around the 7. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And now it's 3rd and 3.
Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first.
Murray going to try to throw on 3rd down. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over them.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
Now, meanwhile, they go for it on 4th down, and my goodness, incomplete. The Cardinals unable to convert there on 4th down. And this Browns defense stands tall. So the defense has to stay out and get one more stop. They were able to do it, forcing the incompletion.
So on their record, that goes down as a successful play. Doesn't matter how they got there, how it happened. They got it done. They're the ones that are jubilant.
The Browns drive about to get started. This is sort of what you would call a put-away drive, isn't it? I mean, they score here, especially a touchdown. It's almost out of reach.
It certainly feels that way, and I think that they're going to call their plays accordingly because what you really want to do, even though you know the scoreboard is still up there and the game's going to go on, you feel like you can take the spirit away from another team, that their drive and will to come back and win can be taken with another score right here.
Still 3rd quarter, but you just get that feel.
Yeah, they're teetering right there on the brink, aren't they?
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. A give running right is Chubb. And a short gain here across the 10 to the 12.
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
Here's Watson. He's got his tight end, David Njoku.
And he is going to have a Browns first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this 2nd half. Here's 1st and 10. To throw is Watson.
And he'll get this one to Cooper complete.
And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. That one good for 37 yards. Boy, another big play late here for an offense, Charles, that certainly has had its fair share of big plays.
Coverage has been a problem all game long, and I would say that going along with that has been confidence. Because even if they had the right coverage, they've still dented them and now it's been a real issue for him during this game.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Now it's Watson. He's got his receiver, Cooper. Touchdown! Amari Cooper, 33 yards.
And the Browns are well on their way to a 5-0 start as they extend their lead.
Extra point attempt here still to come. He knocks it through. It's 28-7. The Browns kicking team out there now as they'll send this one away.
From the 6. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line.
Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started.
And they unfortunately are staring at a mini losing streak developing, trailing here in the 4th quarter. This would be their 3rd straight defeat.
And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and that'll bring up 2nd down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Trying to force it to Hopkins, and it's intercepted.
Picked off by Grant Delpit. And the Browns are going to take possession of the football.
He's at it again, Charles. He had the pick 6 last week. Not a pick 6 here, but an interception.
Hey, it's another Oski, because that's the word we use when we intercept a pass. Oski tells your team to rally around and block for you. Well, that worked really well last week because he made it all the way to the end zone. This week, he got the Oski, maybe not a touchdown, but boy, he's playing really well.
2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
Off of play action, it's Watson. And that is taken in by Njoku. And he'll get this one down near the 20-yard line, just shy of the 20. That one good for 26 and a 1st down. They'll go left side on the ground with Chubb. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Browns touchdown.
Nick Chubb with his 6th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Browns add on to their lead, and they are also closing in on a 5th straight victory.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that'll increase their lead to 28. The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away.
Fielded just outside the goal line. And a nice job there on special teams to limit him to inside the 15 as he's dropped at the 14.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover if they want to try and put points on the board.
Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense.
Well, we said it at halftime that they would need a nearly perfect second half to erase that deficit that they were facing, CD. But unfortunately, the second half has pretty much been a carbon copy of the first.
Yeah, that early lead was almost insurmountable the way their opponent was playing. And, partner, they do have some good news, though. This one is getting close to being over, and they can try and hit the reset button starting tomorrow.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Play action. Now it's Murray.
This is taken in by McBride.
And he'll be out right at the 35. 22 yards there, a first down.
With this game well in hand, perhaps we are seeing the coverage lighten up a little bit as they got burned there a bit for a first down.
But we certainly know the coach isn't happy along the sideline because he certainly wants them to finish this one out the way they started it. He doesn't want to give up any soft completions, no late points. He wants his lead to stay right where it is.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Now Murray off play action. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Moore. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. 2 chunk plays in a row. The last one was over 20 yards, and so is this one. They fake the handoff. Now Murray. He's going deep for Brown. And that is caught by Brown for a Cardinal touchdown. Hollywood Marquise Brown, 40 yards. And the Cardinals get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this 4th quarter deficit. Piñeiro's extra point up and good. And that'll cut the lead back down to 21. Now after the touchdown, here's Piñeiro to kick it off. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Browns drive about to get started.
They've got to be feeling very comfortable and confident here with this lead in the football here in the 4th quarter, Charles. And I don't think that they need to score again, but it seems like this offense is just getting better as the game goes on. They've scored on their last 2 drives.
Certainly feels like a chance for them to continue to have some fun out there, doesn't it? Game's already decided, as you noted. So they can continue to play loose, break out some other concepts, maybe run a few trick plays, get other people involved. Heck, even go deep on one of these first snaps just because they can.
On 2nd and a yard, Watson. He's got Njoku, his big tight end. He was over 100 receiving last week. He's over 100 now this week as he's got a first down as well.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to, pick up a first down.
Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. The Cardinals going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. They'll try and wind down some clock with Chubb. And this play a lot like the previous one, thanks to that stout Cardinal defense. Back-to-back, they've been tackled behind the line.
Now that's a nice play. Got me fired up, partner. But can they do it back-to-back plays? All the training that you go through as a defense for these situations, when you have to get the ball back, everything you go through, holding up the runner, raking at the football, getting to the passer, knocking it out of his hands, whatever way, they have to get the ball back.
Now can they stand tall again for a huge 4th quarter stop? The Browns send out their punter now as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. 46 on his first kick, this one in that neighborhood as well. Returning it is Moore. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Cards will take over 1st and 10. Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. Their defense was able to force the punt a moment ago, but that's really the first of about 8 steps that need to go right for them to get back in this as they start here 1st and 10.
That incompletion is not a surprise with the way that this one has gone, and the frustration of body language is evident everywhere. This team, they've really been put through the ringer in this one.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. On play action, it's Murray. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Nice back-to-back plays defensively. They're stacking momentum now. 1 incompletion, 2 incompletion. They're going for more.
This offense so far on 3rd down, they've struggled to the tune of 2 for 8 so far. This is 3rd and 10. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Tell you what, partner, after he ices down, he's going to need a nice long soak in a hot tub after this one. He's been under duress the entire game.
Yeah, once again, hit as he throws. Fortunate that one wound up incomplete. And the fair catch is taken at about the 13-yard line here. He'll be hard-pressed to match that one. That a 65-yard punt. And the Browns will take over with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. The Browns drive about to get started.
And it's looking all the more likely that a 5th straight win is going to be in the cards. They'll try to run some time here with a 1st and 10. 78 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Browns in possession of the football here as we get you reset. And you'd have to figure they're just looking to burn these final 2 minutes away and get out of here with a victory.
2nd down, here's Chubb again.
And this one will go to the 28-yard line. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
The Browns in victory formation now as they take the knee.